Welcome to Map Your Mind. Travel through the world with your brain. Cuba, an island shaped like a crocodile resting in the Caribbean Sea. A place where music spills into the streets, where classic cars shine like time capsules under the sun, where revolution, culture, and passion pulse through everyday life. But to truly understand Cuba, we must travel far beyond the beaches and bright colors. We must go back to the first people who called this island home, before flags and foreign ships. There were the Taino and Siboney, indigenous farmers and fishermen. They carved canoes from massive trees and sailed crystal waters. They grew cassava and sweet potatoes. Their stories lived in petroglyphs and sacred caves. Their world was peaceful until sails appeared on the horizon. 1492. Christopher Columbus arrived and declared the island for Spain. Soon, Spanish colonizers turned Cuba into a hub for sugar and tobacco. Plantations stretched for miles. Enslaved Africans were forced into brutal labor to build the colony's wealth. African rhythms mixed with Spanish melodies. Cultures blended under hardship, and a new Cuban identity began to take shape. But Cuba was never quiet under oppression. Whispers of rebellion turned into roars. In the 1800s, uprisings shook the island. Then came José Martí, a poet, a visionary, a national hero who dreamed of an independent Cuba. His words became weapons stronger than gunfire. His sacrifice fueled the fight for freedom. 1898, after war and struggle, Spain's rule finally crumbled, but victory came with a twist. The United States stepped in. Cuba was free from Spain, yet not fully free to steer its own destiny. For decades, U.S. influence shaped government, business, and life on the island. By the 1950s, corruption and inequality split the nation. Then, in the mountains of the Sierra Maestra, a revolution was born. Fidel Castro, Che Guevara, Camilo Cienfuegos, names that echoed through history like battle cries. 1959, the Cuban Revolution succeeded. The government changed overnight. Wealth was redistributed, industries nationalized, education and healthcare transformed. Supporters called it justice, opponents called it control. And the world watched as Cuba stepped into a new era. The Cold War tightened around the island. Cuba joined forces with the Soviet Union. The United States responded with embargoes that still linger today. 1960 brought the Cuban Missile Crisis. Nuclear fear hung like a storm cloud over the planet. For 13 tense days, the world held its breath. War was avoided, but the divide remained deep. Yet through every hardship, Cuban culture only grew louder. Salsa, son, rumba, drums that remember Africa, guitars that remember Spain, voices that rise with joy even in struggle. Classic cars became symbols of resilience. Cobblestone streets told stories of centuries. Cigar smoke curled into the air like ancient prayers. Havana moved to its own rhythm, slow, soulful, unforgettable. The Cuban people carried both pride and frustration. Free education, but limited resources. Brilliant doctors, but few supplies. Art that spoke truths no law could silence. Then came the 21st century. New leaders, new negotiations. A brief moment when ties with the U.S. tried to thaw, but politics shifted again. And the future remains a question mark. Still, Cuba stands strong, a survivor of empire, revolution, and embargo. A nation ruled by hope as much as history. An island that dances no matter who is watching. And through it all, nature remains a masterpiece here. Coral reefs glowing beneath turquoise water. Vigalas Valley painted green with tobacco fields. And limestone cliffs. Trinidad frozen in time with colonial charm. The Sierra Maestra whispering. Memories of rebels. Fun fact, Cuba is home to the world's smallest bird, the bee hummingbird. Lighter than a paperclip and fast as a heartbeat. So, when you think of Cuba, don't just think of cigars and vintage cars. Think of courage passed down through generations. Think of music that refuses to fade. Think of an island still riding its revolution in real time. Where will your mind travel next?